Good morning and welcome to CSL TV's Sunday Service Celebration. My name is Charlene Kussner. I am a practitioner here at the center as well as a ministerial intern. It is my joy and honor to welcome you here today as we gather for our Sunday service. We are joined here socially distanced and masked when we're not on the pulpit by our light holder Don Taylor, our practitioner of service, Suzanne Ward, and our artistic director, John Foltz. And I am here hosting today because Reverend Catherine is taking a much well-deserved Sunday off, and so we honor her and love her right where she's at today. And so it is our great gift this morning that we have a guest speaker. We have Rev Tracy Earlywine here to deliver her powerful and inspiring message for us today. So it's just going to be a wonderful day of service together. So I welcome you to Centers for Spiritual Living, Temecula Valley. We are an inclusive community. We celebrate unity and love here. So all are welcome, all are celebrated. And so it is my hope, and I think John's hope, that in the feed today on Facebook Live, if you're joining us, that you communicate with one another. I think it's right down there. And you just say hi to one another. This is our way to communicate and to be together when we can't be in person. So please, we love it when we see the feed going crazy and you're saying hi to each other and you're giving your affirmations of love and supporting John and Reverend Tracy as they deliver their powerful message. So welcome. So at this time, if you would please join me in centering and settling into wherever you are in that space and gently closing your eyes. We'll begin our service today with our centering song with John Foltz, and then our invocation with practitioner Suzanne Ward.
As we hear the sound of that beautiful, beautiful rejoicing noise of God, I know that in the centering song, peace has come. Peace is here right now. Peace is everywhere because God is everywhere. And I know that God is here in this room where we are filming this church service that we want to send out to all who are willing to come and listen. It is such a blessing. And I know that as we go through this service today that God is in everything. The message of the ministers, the songs. And I know that we are one. And in that oneness, there is love and peace and joy. So I know that as this service unfolds, every soul that is watching will be blessed and will take away the most important thing that they need at this moment in this time. I am so grateful to be part of this experience. And so I just let it unfold as it should, knowing that God is guiding everything. I let it be, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Suzanne. That was really beautiful. Thank you. A great way to begin our service. Hi, John.
Hi.
I didn't even say hi to you earlier.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are
Good.
you? I promise I have no surprises today. Just putting
You know
that
what?
right
Don't
out.
make promises.
I have no surprises
You might.
today.
You might. Who knows?
I just
it
have-
wouldn't be a surprise if you said, I have a surprise for you.
No surprises today.
Okay.
Just have love
All right.
and gratitude
All
for
right.
you.
Well,
So it's good to be here with you
It
this
is.
morning.
It is.
Thank you.
Likewise.
All right. So welcome, everyone. Good to be here together. This is where we come to remember the truth of our being, right? When we can gather together, hear the inspirational song from John, the inspirational message from our ministers, and just remember the truth of our being, that we are love made manifest. And it is God's good pleasure to be with itself when we gather with one another, when we interact and commune and have our beingness together. That's God's ability to express more of itself, to be more of itself. So how good it is to come together on a Sunday morning and just remember that truth of our being. So I'd like to start things off this morning with John, with our congregational song. I'm going to invite Suzanne to come up and join me here, and let's just sing together.
And with everyone. Sing along at
I
home.
know, let's sing.
Please.
We've had special guests with their talent, time, treasure of song, of readings. And this morning, we have one of our congregants and members of the center reading a poem from Maya Angelou. So I would love it if you could welcome me in welcoming Marty Goldman. Welcome, let's welcome and welcome Marty Goldman. Come on up.
Good morning. I'm delighted to share with you the words of Maya Angelou, poet, writer, civil rights worker, human rights worker, and activist. As a young woman, her words spoke to me long before she became a national treasure. This reading is dedicated to all the women of color living and breathing these words, whether they know it or not. The title of Maya's most famous poem is Still I Rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. In a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestor gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
Let's give some hearts for that.
I know, right? Oh
Wow.
my gosh, I have to come up and follow that. Marty, thank you for that gift. I felt every word. And what came through for me too in that is how lovely it is to be a part of Centers for Spiritual Living, where we indeed link arms with one another and rise together. So thank you for that. Those words are right into my heart space. That was beautiful. So we're at the time of our service where we just remember gratitude. And I'm filled with gratitude from that reading and from Marty's voice, because we're able to come together at this place, at this center. And remember abundance, gratitude, love, joy, all of it. And so my hope is that if what we are doing here speaks to you, empowers you, uplifts you, resonates with you, that we take a moment to remember the great gratitude of being alive, being a human being on this planet, having a spiritual walk together. And so I would just ask that you just maybe get comfortable and place your hands on your heart space. And just take a deep breath into that place and just call into mind something to be grateful for. Might be the bird song outside. It might be having a warm cup of coffee made for you in the morning. The breath in our lungs, the ability to be here together. Gratitude. And so coming back together, there are many ways to support what we do here. We have staff members, we have our beloved John Foltz and Reverend Catherine and Diane, all here working hard behind the scenes to make this come together every Sunday morning. And so your offerings, your gifts of tithing support this ministry, this effort, and this outreach into our local community and the world. And so there's many opportunities and ways to support Centers for Spiritual Living Temecula Valley. There will be some information in the feed. You can call Diane. I know she's here at the office and she's at the phone and she'd be happy to take your call. You can mail in your gift of offering or tithing or bring it by the center. We'd be happy to accept all of it. So my hope is that you take something from this, it serves you, and you participate in the divine givingness of this life by giving to the center. So if you would, again, put your hands on your heart, think of that offering in whatever way, whatever means it is going to be submitted to the center, and you just join with me in our affirmation of divine love through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. In an exponential way. And so thank you. With great gratitude, I say thank you. And so it is. Amen. So at this time, I'd like to invite Suzanne Ward up, our practitioner of the day, who will be doing our reading today from 365 Days of Richer Living.
Thank you, Charlene, and welcome again. The title of our reading today is, I Receive Divine Inspiration and Know Just What to Do. True, capital letters, prayer is the correction of belief in separation. We forget that man and God are one, and in our confusion, troubles are born out of duality. All demonstrations are the result of unity. Our method of accepting these ideas is to believe that we are receiving them and then act upon their guidance. As we affirm that we are divinely inspired to right action, we receive the idea that is born of the Spirit to meet the need of the moment. We must remind ourselves that to all is given the divine possibility, but only those who know that they are one with the one mind shall receive it. We pray to erase duality and to realize unity. All indecision is erased and the decisions of truth and love are made. Every hour is alive with inspiration, guidance, and vision. God and I are one, not two. God's mind and my mind are one, not two. There is only one source delivering to me what I need to know at the time I need to know it. I act with authority, exactness, and love. For God is my inspiration now. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you.
This would be the time for a surprise if you have one.
No surprise.
No, okay. All right, you told the truth. Good.
I love that reading, and I was just thinking I'm ready for divine inspiration from our very own artistic director, John Foltz. We are so blessed to have this gift. I mean, I know I say it every time I'm up there, but I mean it. I really mean it. You are so talented. Your voice is beautiful.
Thank you.
He can play any song. I mean, you can throw any song at him and he can play it. It's amazing.
Let's say many. I don't know about any.
You've got a lot in there.
I got a lot up in the old
You've
slot
got a lot.
machine.
I know.
Up there.
And your beloved wife Tina has said she wishes that the honey-do list would stay in there as much as the song catalog that is in there.
You have no idea how true that is.
So, really, it is our gift to have John Foltz as artistic director. I'm so excited. Thank you, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. It's, as always, delighted to be a part of this. Gosh, for so many years now. And, it's still fun. And that feels important. As you may know, if you've been around for any time, one of Reverend Catherine's favorite artists is James Taylor. And I always have a little internal chuckle, kind of ooh, I'm going to be in trouble, whenever I decide to do one of his songs when she's not here. But it's just one of those, it can't explain why, it just felt like the right song today. You can play the game, you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed to play in a fool? One thing can lead to another, and it doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother and sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice, just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do as I say, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. Now what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone? Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, and it's always getting the grease. So better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel.
and hearts
Clapping
and
hands and
stuff
hearts.
is going crazy.
Yay!
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Even though I know Reverend Catherine is missing that in her heart, I'm glad we got to hear that.
It's on video.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, how good it is for me to be able to introduce one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. This morning we are gifted with Reverend Tracy Earlywine as our guest speaker today, delivering her powerful message. And so I have a quick bio of Reverend Tracy. She is the senior minister of the Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. She has also served as the senior minister of the Huntington Beach Center for Spiritual Living, as well as a staff minister at Harmony Center in Whittier, California. Quite a resume. Her love is teaching. This I can attest. Her love is teaching, and her focus is bringing science of mind principles into daily life. And this quote that she included in her bio just speaks volumes for just who Reverend Tracy is. She is a ray of sunshine wherever she goes. And this is from Ernest Holmes. There is laughter of God. Let's laugh it. There is a song of the universe. Let's sing it. There is a hymn of praise. Let's praise it. There is a joy, a beauty. There is a deep, abiding peace. Let's experience it. And Reverend Catherine says this very quickly. She is so glad Reverend Tracy could be with us today. She is so dear to me and has been a great friend to the center for many years. I am grateful that she is here to share her wisdom with us all. So please join me in welcoming Reverend Tracy Earlywine.
Thank you. How nice is that? That little note from Reverend Catherine just choked me right up. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to start off by showing you something that you may not realize that you could do for yourself to get grounded, to get energized, to become fully present. Because this is what I did this morning. Because for some reason when I woke up this morning, I had a ping pong ball in my head. Gotta do this, gotta remember to say that, gotta write that down, gotta blah, 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 blah. You know, it's not really the best way to start off all calm and spiritual. So I offer you this. If you stand with your feet slightly apart and put your hands on your hips and raise your chin, this is the Wonder Woman pose. It works for men too. But what happens when you do this position and you hold it for at least 2 minutes? There have actually been studies done that document how our physiology and our brain workings change. And what happens is we are grounded in the earth with our eyes lifted to the sky. We've opened up our heart space and we are physically standing in our power. And there's something to be said about having your eyes raised. It's no accident that there are quotes like, I lift up mine eyes to the hills from whence cometh my help. Because what is up there is above and beyond what is down here. And it's not that God is up there or that there's something we're reaching for. When I looked out of my sliding glass door this morning and put my eyes above the fence and above the tree and above the telephone wires, what I had left was this vast expanse of blue. And it is in this infinite sky that we remember, not only in our thoughts, but also in our spirit, that there is an vastness, an infinite amount of things we can do, of thoughts we can have, of places we can go. It is the infinite possibility of life. And I will tell you, it is so much easier to solve human problems down here on the earth from the vastness of infinite potential. And so I offer you this as a way for you yourself to find a new place in consciousness that includes more. So while I was looking at the sky, here and there were birds flying by. There were seagulls, there were crows, there were the little finches and all, who knows, geese. I saw geese this morning. And of course, you know, being in my ministerial mode, got to get this talk done, got to come here and talk to my friends, whom I'm so glad to see, by the way. I was struck by the fact that those birds are like thoughts. You know, they fly by. Sometimes they stay for a while and circle around and circle around and circle, and then they fly off again. And then there's those ideas that come and go before you almost see them. And I thought, you know what's interesting about this is it's very clear to me I am not my thoughts. I'm the sky. I am that infinite possibility. I am that vast field of potential. And everything else, as Pema Chodron says, is just weather. So this idea that life is enclosed, encapsulated, embraced, surrounded by sky is really what we're talking about today. My talk today is called We Come Together. And this vision of sky encompassing all, think about it. You might think the sky ends at the earth or the surface of the ocean. But there isn't any place you can go on this planet that isn't surrounded by sky. There isn't any place I can go in my body or the body of my affairs that is not part of this atmosphere of space. And that is what God is to us. That is what Spirit is for us as our lives. It is the all-encompassing, completely surrounding, embracing, filling up, and laying out before us what's possible. Now, Ernest Holmes says that what Science of Mind teaches is that we have a universal concept of God. Now, when I look around the world, I do not see universal truth in action as love and beauty and joy and peace all the time. Do you? All I have to do is say pandemic, or politics, or learning from home, or working from home, and I can see what happens. Your shoulders come up and you begin to tense up a little bit, and I know that for me it brings up those visions of lockdowns and being separated and can't go see my relatives and who can I hug and all of the things that apparently have separated us this year. Highlighted that very human tendency to see only the differences. And that is toxic. Because our health, our wholeness, our truth comes from love. And love is all-inclusive. So my soul, your soul, is always seeking connection. You know, we're social animals. We want to be together. We want to laugh together. We want to have a meal together. We want to share ideas. What we don't want is to feel separate and different and outside and excluded or invisible. That soul seeking is that ability we have within ourselves to tap into the divine, that place of the heart that is undisturbed. The word wholeness means not hurt, not damaged, the part of us that is all of life. And I want to see that in you, because when we have a real conversation or a real connection, then I am uplifted, you are uplifted, we feel loved, we are loving, and we grow from that. We become from that, we heal all of those divisions and differences from that love. We're not denying, Holmes says, the reality of created forms or of individual experience. We are affirming the unity of all life, a unity which includes variety. Unity does not mean uniformity. We're not supposed to be the same. Life has set the stamp of individuality upon everything, from a blade of grass to a person. There is unity at the center and variety on the surface. And these variations are separate and distinct without being separated or isolated. In other words, we are all interdependently interwoven into this fabric of life. We can never be separate. We can never be away from the sky or from spiritual truth. But I have to be aware of that in order to feel that common ground, that sense of unity. The theme this month for Centers for Spiritual Living is One Journey, Many Paths. And we have all come to this place from a variety of directions. You know, we've all had different experiences of life. We've all had different backgrounds, different ways, different careers, different family structures, different ideas of what life is. You know, you went backpacking for 2 years, or you joined corporate America, or you went into the military, or you were raised in a broken home, or you went to prep school, or all of these things. You know, you were a person of different abilities, or of a different color, or you spoke a different language than the people around you. We've all had an experience of being excluded or on the outside or different than the people we are with or the culture we find ourselves in. I was an exchange student right out of high school, and I still volunteer with that organization. I work at the airport, and I greet the kids when they come in from all over the world to then go to an orientation and then go to their families for the year. I lived in another country for a year, and that's what they're doing when they come here. And then I see them again when we put them on the plane to go home 11 months later. That first group, they're a little bit shy, they're kind of quiet, they do everything you ask them to do because they don't want to get lost at LAX. Fair enough. Most of them have some English, and you know, they're cute and adorable and excited and scared and they're homesick. When I see them 11 months later, oh my gosh. California Valley Girl comes to mind. You know, any 17-year-old boy you've ever met in your life comes to mind. They're confident, they're poised, they know their way around, they pay absolutely no attention to what we say, and our job is just to get them on the plane. That experience of broadening one's perspective of what life is like, that idea of going to another country and maybe you don't speak the language, or we don't serve the foods the same way you have them at home, or you are completely isolated from all of the things you know. You're a skier and you're out there in Arizona somewhere. You just never know what that year's going to bring. But the growth for each of those kids, the experience they have of expanding their horizons, of learning that they are in fact part of this foreign family, or can get to know and appreciate this other culture. I know for me, it brought me to a place of always being curious, always wanting to know more, always seeking understanding, because in truth, that is how we come together. That is how we come together. Daily life can be really messy, and it's really tempted to seek out the people that are the same as we are, to only talk to people who think like we do, to only go places where we already know what we're going to order off the menu when we get to go out to restaurants once again. Right? We seek out the familiar. We seek out sameness because we think that keeps us safe. But in reality, we're shutting ourselves down from the things that actually grow us, the things that invigorate us, that energize us. And so Science of Mind teaches that we are to be inclusive. Ernest Holmes says that the infinite is all-embracing. We work in harmony with all spiritual beliefs. We are all seeking the ultimate cause. Spirit by any name. The one who understands Science of Mind will be tolerant, kind, and sympathetic. And I would actually expand tolerant to be accepting, compassionate, welcoming. So how do we do that, you know? How does our spiritual practice bring us to a place where we can communicate with people who are so different than we are, or who just push every button we have, or who are family members and we can't get away from them? We want to heal that sense of division, not by becoming like each other, but by having compassion for each other. By exercising our ability to understand that everyone has their story, their reasons, their background, their patterns of life, just like I do. And that's what compassion is. Oh, I can see myself in your position. I can see why this would be so frustrating for you. I do that too. Gee, I have faults. I have character defects that show up every once in a while. Perhaps I could give you a little bit of room. And the way I can do that without selling out my authentic self is to remind myself, as Dr. Edward Viljoen says, that I want to steer my thoughts and words to what my heart knows. And what does my heart know? My heart knows wholeness. My heart knows that there is an undisturbed peace at the center of my being that has never been touched. And if I am willing to go within and find that place where love is, where wholeness is, where oneness is present in my awareness, then what I do and say and act and speak and experience will be different. Now, in our culture, we have seen great divisions of philosophies, of politics, of what's important and what we should do next and what we shouldn't do next, and everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got a Facebook page, have you noticed? Yeah. But there are healthy ways of engaging each other, of including each other. And what came to me when I was writing about this was this idea of conscious inclusion. All right? Most of us, we go along in life and we just take whatever there is because that's just how we live and it's easy. Well, this year hasn't been easy. I've had to look at every single thing I think of as good or bad or right or wrong or easy or hard, and you know, it's all kind of went out the window. I had to start over with what was important to me, what I wanted to spend time on, how I could spend my time. How might I be expressive and loving and creative? All of that changed. So when I consciously choose something, I am investing it with the power that I am. And so one of the ways we choose inclusion is like this month, celebrating Black History Month. It's a conscious choice, and it's a recognition that in the past, something or someone was disregarded or excluded or ignored or made invisible. And we're looking around today saying, well, that's not right. This life is all of us. This history is all of our history. Someone else's path is also life just as mine is. Martin Luther King talked about the beloved community. And he explained it this way: we are tied together in the single garment of destiny, caught in an inescapable network of mutuality. In other words, human existence is social in nature, and that a solidarity of the human family is essential. We are already in this together. If we're going to live our values and our principles of oneness, then we have to transcend, to climb above this illusion of separation and differences that we have. And it's our ability to rise above, to see beyond appearances, that's going to allow us to be more inclusive. That's going to allow us to consciously embrace life in all of its many forms. And this works for any kind of different. Any kind of different. I live in a very mixed neighborhood. There's a lot of different cultures represented. I'm kind of at the juncture of an Asian community, and there's a Hispanic community a little very close by. My neighbors are of all races and ages and genders. I mean, there's just a little bit of everything where we are. And it's one neighborhood. And it's part of my life. And why wouldn't we welcome that variety of experience into our own awareness so that we might be enriched? Right? We might be enriched by this. Not because I want to make somebody else the same as me, or that I have to learn to like a certain kind of cooking, or the smell of controlled substances. You know, that doesn't have to be me. But I can certainly expand and appreciate what I know, because what I get to know, I do appreciate. You've all had that person that you hated when you first met them. And if you haven't, you've all seen a Hallmark movie. They always start off fighting with each other. They don't have any patience for each other. I don't know what's wrong with that guy. I don't know what's wrong with that woman. And of course they end up happily ever after at the end, because they get to know each other. And while life doesn't always have little bows on it in an hour and a half, what does happen is that when we are curious, when we truly seek understanding, when we ask questions, when we want to know, we grow. And the person talking with us also grows. And we expand that circle of inclusion because we value our oneness, because we are healed by that experience of connection. Now, not everybody is lovable on the surface. I got a lot of people on that list. Most of them are not personal friends, but you know, they're the Facebook noise makers, right? Ernest Holmes says one of the first things to do is to love everybody. And if you haven't done this, begin to do so at once. Okay, that's a tall order this year. However, my friend Jeff Kober, he's a Buddhist blogger, and he writes a great column. Every few days I get an email from him. And one of the things that he wrote just really struck me. This I can do. It says, if I cannot love my brother, at least I can remind myself that God loves him in spite of his politics. And if I cannot speak well of my sister, I can at least keep myself from speaking ill of her. And if the policies of those in power cause my heart to be heavy, then I must find a way for my voice to be heard in support of those policies that bring my heart peace. And so as we learn in Science of Mind, we are to be for something. I am for conscious inclusion. I am for choosing to expand my circle of experience and therefore my awareness of oneness. I know there is common ground. I know in that vast sky of potential, there are millions of ways forward for good. Why wouldn't there be? Why wouldn't there be? What it takes is our willingness to be compassionate, to show up for people. Compassion is the actual practice of oneness. The word means to feel with someone. It's a way of respecting and honoring the nature of someone else, right where they are, without fixing, without advising, without running away. To simply be present to their true nature, and it's claiming the same good for everyone that I want for myself. Well, yeah. There's enough to go around. That's another basic Science of Mind teaching. There's always more than enough. This is an abundant universe. And if you can't get to compassion right away, then start with forgiveness. Now, not forgiveness, that's a whole other talk. Not that forgiveness. How about just an attitude of forgiveness that says, you know, they probably have their reasons. You know, I think they're probably doing their best. Or even, their way is not my way, and I'm just going to bless them on their way. In other words, I'm not advocating that we stand next to toxic people and take that in somehow. But we are always the bringers of light. We are always the ones who know the truth. I can know the truth and still back away from someone. We can appreciate and honor anyone we meet with respect. Think about music that maybe you're not especially fond of, like improvisational jazz. Makes my nervous system rattle. But I can really appreciate the skill and the talent, and that the musician can hear something that maybe I don't, but they are gifted at what they do. It doesn't mean I have to listen to it while I'm driving. You see what I'm saying? This conscious inclusion is also a way of honoring myself and getting to know myself, as well as getting to know you, or getting to know the music, or finding out about another culture. So when we realize that like drops in the ocean, we're commingled, that we're all the ocean, and each drop of water is individual, but it's still all the ocean. When we realize that as human beings, we are all divine expression, then we are able to come together because we realize we already are together. We can't not be one. In the consciousness of being, there is only one. And that one is me, it is you, it is all of us together. Love is the ground of our being. I want to align who I am and how I am in the world with the love that is in my heart, for that is the basis of oneness. I want to stand strong and look up so that I remember in all circumstances that there are infinite possibilities of good happening right now for each and every one of us equally. I want to seek understanding, and I want to spread my kindness and compassion in the world. Just scatter it about like seeds. See what grows. That way, when I show up somewhere as kindness, as love, and speaking the truth, I am showing, not just talking about oneness, but showing and living oneness right here with all of us. And what I know too is that you can consciously choose where you stand, how you look at something. The only thing standing between me and feeling all lovey-dovey oneness with you all is how I think. And lucky for me, I love and adore you. Namaste.
Oh, Reverend Tracy, indeed the bringer of light, of love, of wisdom. Thank you for that. Okay, I'm taking this in.
That was great.
Oh my gosh, it does feel good.
Right.
2 minutes, right? Oh, I'm going to so take that into my spiritual practice. Oh, thank you for that gift of wisdom this morning. So just vibrating on that energy.
I know.
We have another musical gift this morning with our own artistic director, the one and only John Foltz.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes, great talk. I feel like you hit like every bullet point. It just, that was great. Also, too, not related, but I loved that Ernest Holmes quote in your bio. I've read a lot of Ernest Holmes, never read that one. What is that from?
I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
I used it at my ordination.
Please let me know, because
I
that
will.
was, wow, I
absolutely
really
will.
love that. And with that. When I was a boy each week, Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling that the miracles don't happen still. But now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything, everything, everything's a miracle. Why fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. There used to be a world out there, having second rate hand me down. But now I'm walking with the Reverend. 'Cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face. Say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come. Say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood and saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush and singing like scripture verse. Made me wanna bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. 'Cause everything is holy now. There used to be a world out there, heaven's second rate hand me down. Now I'm walking with the Reverend there. 'Cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now.
Yes, clapping hands, hearts. Thank you, John.
Of
Oh,
course.
that is one of my favorite songs.
It's one of it's just one of the it's always good to do this song. I
And
like
that,
this
along
song.
with
It's a
Reverend
great
Tracy's message this morning about, love and inclusivity and compassion, just filling me up. My bucket is full today, so thank you, thank you. So we're coming to the end of our service this morning, so I wanted to do some announcements of some upcoming events and things that are happening with the center. Our book study continues to meet on Wednesdays. You can contact Pam Migliosi. All the information is in the chat this morning. They are reading Living an Inspired Life by Wayne Dyer, such a good book. And so please, not too late to contact Practitioner Pam Migliosi if you'd like to follow along with that book study. The men's ministry continues to meet on Wednesdays, and you can contact Reverend Michael Summers, and his information is in the chat. So if you'd like to join the men's group, they have a nice, solid, powerful group of guys that meet, and when they can meet in person, again, when we're able to safely, they meet for a little breakfast in the mornings. Our Sisters in Spirit group is also meeting on the first and third Thursday of the month, and you can contact Pam Migliosi for more information if you'd like to join our women's group. And we still have our Spiritual Connection at 7 series, where we come together at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday to come together on Zoom for a spiritual connection of meditation, contemplation, and communion with one another. And the information is in the chat. It's an easy way to start your day off and then end your day. It's a nice bookend of spiritual practice together. Our very own practitioner, Suzanne Ward, is leading an online grief support group. It started last Tuesday, but it's not too late to join. If you or someone you know has been dealing with grief or loss due to the loss of a beloved, a change in life, a divorce, a health issue, a work issue, please reach out and join this powerful group of healing. Suzanne Ward is a dedicated practitioner in this realm of healing and grief support. We are having our CSL TV annual meeting March 14th after our service, and it's going to be via Zoom. So we are going to be doing a board election. We have 2 spots open on the board. So if you are called to serve, anyone called to serve? You want to lean in a greater way with this community? If you're interested in joining the board, please contact Reverend Catherine via email. And she can then refer you to the selection committee for an interview. So I hope you join. I've been on the board in the past. It's a wonderful way to serve this community. And we need all of your gifts that you bring. So I hope you consider that and lean into service and reach out to Reverend Catherine. After Sunday service, we are starting a new offering. It's a prayer room. It's via Zoom. So right after this service, Practitioner Suzanne Ward will pop on the Zoom link. It's in the chat. And she will be there if you need prayer support. She can link you up with another practitioner ready to serve. We're here for you. We want to serve and support you. So let us know if we can, and please reach out if we can be of service to you. We're here. I want to especially thank some folks today. I want to thank Don Taylor for holding light in the back of the service. Thank you. Practitioner, I keep wanting to call you Reverend. There must be something there.
She got an upgrade.
I know. Practitioner Suzanne Ward for our Practitioner of Service today and our beautiful meditation as we opened. Marty Goldman, thank you. That reading, your voice was just lovely. Thank you so much for your service this morning. Of course, Diane, who is here creating our beautiful stage. It's always so lovely, and she's here monitoring the camera for us. So thank you, Diane. We love you. We appreciate your service. And my beloved Susie Kussner, who is on the Facebook Live, monitoring the chat and supporting you with all the information that we've just gone over to this morning. So thank you all. Thank you all. All right, so I'd like to invite Reverend Tracy back up at this moment to close with a powerful prayer.
Oh, so please join me. Take that deep breath, close your eyes, and just settle into the rhythm of your breathing. Wherever you are right now, know that in consciousness there is no time and space. There is only this connection, this place of the heart where oneness is known, this spark of light and love that keeps our own flames burning, that moves us to action, that opens hearts and minds to love and more love, joy and more joy. And it is in this place, this divine spark within, that we remember and encounter and become more and more aware of the presence of the One. This all-encompassing energy of life, this power, this place of wholeness and peace and wisdom. And as this is the energy of all life, it is the energy of my life. That this power and wisdom and peace, this place of wholeness and oneness, is the expression of me as me in this world, just as it is true for everyone. And it is from this place of knowing, this spiritual pool of understanding, of wisdom, of clarity, that I speak my word for wholeness, for healing, for an uplifting of each and every one. That all life might be supported, one heart to another, one mind to another, one connection, in person, virtual, family, unknown, acquaintance, anyone, everyone, all of life expresses this healing, this wholeness, this expansion in ever greater ways. For in the mind of God, there is only life giving to itself. And while it may look in many different forms, while each of us may have our own experience of stress or difficulty or just weariness, what I know is that in God, that vitality, that energy, that purpose makes itself known. And so I speak a word for opening, an opening of the heart, an opening of the mind, an opening of the arms, to include everyone, everything, every sense of recovery and rejuvenation and love. And in love and gratitude, I release my word into law. For in the mind of God, love works its magic through us, as us, unfolding just as it should. And so I call it good, knowing it is all God, and so it is.
So it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life thought I had to do it all myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. Now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God.
All right, so I send you out into this week that you might scatter seeds of kindness, that you might open your arms in conscious inclusion and reap the benefits of this connection, this love, this energy of life that we all share. Namaste. Go with God.
So it is.
So it is.